Hey, e-commerce marketing podcast listener. I wanted to let you know that we have created a 6-month guide to marketing your e-commerce store. You can download this guide by visiting getosi.com/guide or by texting GetOSI to 33444. This guide will show you how to get more traffic, sales, and conversions for your online store. Get the guide right now by visiting getosi.com/guide or by texting GetOSI to 33444. Welcome back to the e-commerce marketing podcast, everyone. I am your host, Arlen Robinson, and today we have a very special guest with us, Aliasger Motiwalla. He has over 8 years of experience across startups and multinational businesses in SaaS and cloud products, e-commerce and mobile, consumer internet, digital media, and other technology products and services. He has extensive experience in setting up and scaling sales channels, teams, and operations for international markets. And today he's here with us to tell us a little bit more about how e-commerce businesses can take advantage of mobile commerce and all there is to offer with that. Thank you and welcome to the podcast, Ali.
Thank you, Arlen. Great to be here and looking forward to going through the mobile commerce trends right now.
Okay, great. That sounds awesome. There's really a lot going on in the mobile space, as you already know. But before we kind of get into the topic of the day, why don't you tell us and our audience a little bit about your background, how you got started with the company that you're with, which is Global Apps, everything that you were doing prior.
Right. As you rightly mentioned, Arlen, I've got about 8.5 years of experience of working on SaaS and cloud products. Mobile has always been something, which is of extreme high interest to myself. And particularly when you look at commerce, it's just the dominating sales channel right now, right? And it's only going to grow further. So, myself and two of my co-founders, the three of us together, back in 2015, realized that, e-commerce was growing at an extremely fast pace. Today there's also been like a huge growth of entrepreneurs and everyone wanting to start their own businesses, right? Particularly about selling something online. Right. So, we saw massive growth there. Also, at the same time, there was a huge growth of e-commerce software providers, right? Let it be Shopify, let it be BigCommerce, Magento, and all of them, right? These businesses just grew. So we knew that there were solutions that solved a web, but there was nothing that really created mobile storefronts. With mobile growing and, with the growth that it sees as a channel, we thought, it's the perfect opportunity to enter. At the time, there were about 40% visits happening via mobile. Today, that's grown to about 70. So it's just a channel which has been untapped on, and it excited the three of us to typically start something where we enable businesses we basically simplify mobile commerce for online businesses.
Gotcha. Yeah, you guys were definitely right on time, as most people see these days. The amount of transactions now that are done across mobile devices has really exploded. And I've seen this especially amongst the millennial generation. I have some relatives and friends that are of the millennial generation, and most of them don't have laptops or computers. I mean, they may have their mobile device. Some of them have the tablets, but the majority of them don't have laptops. Everything they do with regards to the internet is all on the mobile device. And so there's an incredible shift that has changed and has come upon us within just a short amount of time. And because of that, it has, and of course you guys have seen, it has caused businesses to really scramble and get their whole mobile strategy together in a short amount of time. And that brings me to kind of one of the first things I wanted to ask you, because our audience is primarily comprised of e-commerce businesses and people that have to do with e-commerce marketing. So if a business these days doesn't necessarily have a mobile strategy in place, how do they get started? What are some of the things that you suggest?
Mobile commerce, as a term, as a stand it's a vast subject, right? It's not just one channel. Mobile commerce would obviously comprise of mobile web, mobile apps, let them be native, hybrid, and progressive web apps is now catching up. So there's a lot happening, with this space. So when it comes to figuring out the right m-commerce or mobile commerce strategy for businesses, I think it really depends on what stage they are at, right, in their journey. When you look at startups that are or entrepreneurs that have just started with their e-commerce website, it's all going to be about creating a theme that works best for mobile, right, to optimize their existing conversions and their existing traffic that comes from mobile. When you're looking at a fast growing or a high growth business, it's all about increasing conversions for them and increasing and generating new mobile revenues which didn't really exist, right? And for that, they would not only do this via their existing mobile websites, but they would also consider fully native mobile apps for both Android and iOS. And then you have enterprises over here, and for them, the key goals are always going to be conversions, customer retention, customer loyalty, right? In addition to revenues. So at that stage, it's always going to be about everything related to mobile commerce, right? Let it be your mobile web, let it be mobile apps. They have to have it covered, and it has to be spot on. Right. So gone are the days when it was a choice and it was a scenario where you want to consider it or let's not do it today. I think it's become imperative for businesses to have in place an m-commerce strategy.
Okay. Do you think it's something that a business that's, let's say, a startup just starting off, do they need to think that immediately upon launching their presence?
I would say for mobile web, obviously, but when you come to mobile apps, right, I think it's a call that they need to take based on what kind of traction they're getting in their early days as a startup as well. Mm-hmm. So if you look at the stats today, over 70% of all storefront visits for businesses or consumer stores that actually are hosted on Shopify are via mobile, right? And it again depends on your region. There's a whole lot of data points that you're going to be taking in, right? Demographics, target audience, and a whole lot of other factors.
Right.
And when you look at all of that, if you get some sort of traction going from mobile over there, then it's all about optimizing that and then making it your predominant channel, right? So I wouldn't say that, it's about it being on day one. I think it's about the data that gets driven for these stores in their early days. If mobile is contributing, which I'm assuming, it does, to a very large extent across various target markets, industries, sub-industries, and obviously regions as well, then yes, mobile would be a very good investment from the word go because you get to build your audience from the word go as well.
Right. That totally makes sense. Now, I know a lot of the businesses out there are in different spaces, different niches. Some are selling retail, some are service-based businesses, providing a variety of different types of transactions, dealing with different types of customers. What, with regards to our actual mobile app, what types of businesses should really highly consider creating a mobile app? Because I know, it may not be right for every business.
Yes. That's right. So, and I think that's a great question. So, when you look at mobile apps in particular, right, it's a channel that, you're taking off some form of real estate on a person's mobile device, right? Mm-hmm. So it has to be a meaningful app which a user is actually going to use a lot of times. So when you look at e-commerce as a vertical, there are obviously various categories in it, right? You look at retail, you look at a clothing business, you look at accessories, and then you have products like your driving gears, right? Or bike riding gears. Now, it depends on the purchase or the kind of types or the number of times you would actually buy that item. Mm-hmm. So when you look at pet supplies as a business, when you look at clothing as a business, accessories as a business, these are things where, as a consumer, you would shop on very often, right? Perhaps once in a month, twice in a month, or once in a couple of months at least. So with these type of businesses, let them be a high growth business, let it be an enterprise, a mobile app becomes really, really relevant, right? Because, in fact, I'd like to actually mention over here, there's a report which is published recently by Criteo, which is, I'm sure everyone would have heard of Criteo here. What they mention is 286%. There's a 286% increase in products viewed for an in-app versus mobile browser. That's the kind of impact over there, which results typically in an add-to-basket rate of about 90%. Mm-hmm. The conversions are always going to be high on mobile apps versus mobile web. But, why and what kind of businesses? It's about business, everyone related to e-commerce, everyone having a transactional value to their business, mm-hmm. and everyone having users that actually keep buying from them off. That's where mobile apps actually come into play.
Gotcha. So that makes sense. As far as from a marketing perspective, with a company that has a mobile app, what are some of the marketing opportunities that would be opened up for that business if they actually create a mobile app? Things that they couldn't necessarily do without having a mobile app.
Sure. One of the marketing things and the most standard ways is, of why having a mobile app over here is the engagement factor, right? You have traditional channels today like email with its penetration today, with everyone really having a device. If the users actually even download the app once, you can just reach them instantly, right? So there are push notifications that can be sent out to them for first time, it could be about your offers. Hello?
Excuse me, Ali. Yeah, if you can actually repeat that answer, we're going to edit this, but I lost you. You kind of dropped off. There was silence for a few
Sure.
seconds. So if you can just repeat the answer, and then we'll edit this in post production.
Sure. Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yes.
Can you hear me now, Alan? Is it better?
I can hear you now.
Sure. Yeah. So, when you look at businesses marketing themselves, right, they use channels like email, social, and a whole lot of things, right? But this is an extremely crowded space. Let it be email, let it be social, let it be everything. With a consumer's or a user's mobile device, right? And once the user actually downloads the app, you can send out highly targeted engagement campaigns to the user. So it could be revolving around, first new products launched on the store. It could be about new collections launched on the store. It could be about an offer, a discount. It can also get into details on personalization based on the user behavior on the mobile app. So, some of the ways to get your marketing in place and how marketing has progressed as well. It's all about personalization, right? And mobile apps actually give you the easiest way to handle that.
Yeah, that is very true as far as personalization is concerned, because, you've got that particular person that I guess one of the things that you can do is when they download the app and install it, you can ask certain questions, and so you can kind of personalize their experience to an extent so that the things that you announce to them could be targeted just for them based on their quote unquote persona that they set up when they create the app.
Exactly.
So, and that I guess can involve certain push notifications that will come to them as opposed to someone else. So those push notifications could be different based on their profile. I thought of an example. I have Netflix. I have a Netflix account. Even though I primarily look at Netflix on my Apple TV device, I still have it on my phone, my mobile device. And what I've noticed is, I have 3 other people that use my account as well that I live with, and so I created a special profile for my particular account. And so what I've noticed is that a new season of a new show that I watch comes out, I'll get a specific push notification just for myself because that app was personalized for me. Whereas the other people that are tied to my account, they don't get that same push notifications. They'll get a specific notification for another show they may be watching. So that's
completely right, Alan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that's great.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, and I think that's extremely important, right? Because it has to be contextual, it has to be personalized based on each user's behaviors on the app. So I'll give you an example of what our product does as well. Mm-hmm. So if you particularly install or you add a product to cart today, something as simple as you add a product to cart today, but you don't really purchase that within say 24 or 48 hours, mm-hmm. you get a personalized notification with your name and all details in that, just reminding you to purchase that, right? So that's just one of the examples that we have, which we call as an abandoned cart push notification. Sure. But then there's a whole lot more. So what our product really also helps in is you can target and segment users based on geographies, based on age, based on gender, mm-hmm. and a whole lot of factors, right? So that's where personalization really comes in, right? It's not just about the user persona, but it's about the user behavior that he's done on the app, right? So let's say there's you have someone by the name of Matt who's based in California. He went on the app and he just ended up seeing the top viewed or the best selling products, but didn't really make a purchase, right? So you could send him a personalized push notification after a couple of days, giving him an offer only on those products that he's actually viewed, mm-hmm. So that's the amount of personalization, and that's the experience that you'll end up creating with it.
Right. That's makes total sense. Now, of course, we've been talking a lot about the actual transactional side of the mobile apps and, just getting people to purchase more of your products because you're opening up another channel for them to do it. Outside of the actual in-purchase of more of your products, what are some other ways that a business can monetize things through a mobile app?
So, you obviously have the commercial way where these businesses sell their products within the apps, right?
Right.
But, there are other ways as well. So, you have in-app purchases. It could be about, let it be subscriptions, let it be, as simple as some merchant, some big retailer wanting to sell merchandise via stickers within the app, through their iMessage and iMessage extensions. So there are a lot of opportunities when it comes to app monetization in particular. What we've realized or what we've noticed is one thing: individual retailers or e-commerce businesses, unless obviously you're an aggregator and other things of that nature, but e-commerce businesses in particular, they don't rely on ads, for monetization, because they're just in the middle of the experience.
Right.
So that's something that they don't do. Your general purchases, stickers, subscription businesses as well can be in-app purchases, and there's a whole lot out there that is possible. But again, like I said, it depends on what kind of business you are, what stage of business you are at, for you to start exploring other app monetization strategies.
Right, that's true. There's really a lot of options. And another thing that I thought about that I see a lot more of these days, you mentioned the subscription side of things, where you, of course, are selling a specific product or service directly on your site through your app or through, any mobile device. But one of the things to kind of maybe pull somebody into a subscription model, because these days, every business is trying their best to try to take advantage of recurring revenue. And the best way to do it is a subscription service. But it's not as easy to set up or to even structure for a retail business that's selling a product. But what you can think about doing is creating some type of subscription model, and that could be offered through a mobile device, where you're providing your end customer with exclusive content that they can't get anywhere else other than through the subscription. And so, that particular content could range from specific videos, how-to videos, or specific examples of how to use your product, or advice on just different things that they've never really thought about regards to your product or services. There's a lot of things you can tie into that, but that's something that I'm seeing a lot of businesses try to do, is to really
I completely agree.
Push people into the subscription model.
Yes, and it's across various categories, Arlen. Let it be food businesses, grocery businesses, a couple of retail businesses as well. Subscriptions is picking up tremendously as we speak.
Right, for sure. Now, once a business gets a mobile app, they go through the process of creating a mobile app and have it out there, and they push it. Of course, they've got to make sure that there's a return on investment for what they've spent. What are some ways that a business can promote their mobile app?
I think, this is a bigger problem to solve, Arlen, right, for businesses, because it's not just about getting their mobile app, but here's where the real problem starts, right? It's about getting app discovery in place and app engagement and, engagement in place. And analytics, App discovery is a problem that businesses generally look at solving by two mechanisms, right? One is, organic app installs, which I think is the best way to go ahead with, particularly with e-commerce businesses who are at least starting up or fast growing versus the enterprises. And then you have the paid models, right, where you have paid marketing channels to basically acquire app installs. So as a product as well, this is something that we focus on, because when we started, we realized, building apps was not the only problem. There's a bigger challenge there on how do users actually acquire app users, how do users actually engage, and, how you as a business can have insights and analytics to make better business decisions. Right. So, when it comes to app discovery and when it comes to organic ways, there are certain ways. So we have something called as, a redirectify tool within the product, which essentially converts your mobile web visitors into mobile app users. So it's a widget that we place on the business owner's website, both desktop and mobile. And, it prompts users to typically download the app as soon as a user visits the business's website. So, that's a free tool that we've added with our product. It's a value add, but I think it works really well. We've seen conversions, very high conversions when it comes to app install rates and click-through rates for that. That's one of the ways. Deep linking is obviously a very, very crucial channel. You have to have deep links on your apps, because there's a lot of content that users share, before making a buying decision or a purchasing decision. And, if your apps are deep linked. It just leads to giving better in-app experiences or better app experiences for people who are actually viewing the content, and which therefore leads to increasing conversion.
Sure.
In addition to this, there's a whole lot of we actually do this with our product as well. We recommend growth marketing channels that users can use to acquire app installs. So part of them, in addition to these two, are going to be newsletters. You have newsletters that you send out every month. You can include your app. You have your customer service emailers. Let them be your order confirmation emailers, your payment confirmation emailers, any form of emailer basically that you send out to a customer.
Gotcha.
Abandoned cart emailers as well should have your app links. You then have social media, which I think is a very good channel. Instagram today, particularly with retailers, is just it's just gone through the roof as a channel, right? With social. So those are areas that you can. And then you have your traditional mechanisms as well, right? Like let it be WhatsApp and other mediums that you typically communicate with your customers from. That's a very important thing. But yes, the best way is to have it on your website, so all your organic app or organic website visitors, both desktop and mobile, can convert easily.
Sure. Yeah. So the bottom line is just in all of your touch points that you have there, you want to basically let your customers know, your prospective customers know you've got the mobile app, and then possibly even. And I've seen this before with some of the major retailers where their encouragement for pushing people towards the mobile app is a special incentive where maybe there'll be a special discount that they can only take advantage of from within the app. So that's another way to encourage people to do.
Yeah, I think that's a great suggestion as well, But when you look at discounts in particular, Arlen, right, a lot of brands today are trying to do away with that, in all fairness, because discounting was a very big mechanism earlier when mobile was just starting to be adopted.
Right.
But I think people are refraining from that because the adoption is anyway there. And I think that's great for the industry in general.
Right, for sure. And now finally, one thing I wanted to ask is, what's really one way for an e-commerce business to start earning money right away when they first adopt mobile commerce? What is one suggestion that you have?
I think I generally would not want to, but I think in this case, I would want to bring this about, that's where our product comes into play, right? Global apps. Mm-hmm. That's what we do. The whole idea is about simplifying mobile commerce for businesses. So what we do is we enable businesses to instantly create their mobile commerce channels, both for Android and iOS. All right. And our vision is to enable them to generate new mobile revenues, increase conversions, customer loyalty and retention at the earliest. Okay. All right. The whole idea is we've automated the entire flow as a product where we build your apps. It goes live on both the app stores and the Play stores for Google and Apple respectively. And like I said, we have tools that help you acquire app users. So we have a Redirectify tool that gets you your app users. We place that on your website the day your mobile apps go live. Mm-hmm. And, we've seen massive results with that because once you start getting your organic app installs, it's all about the engagement.
Right.
So from an engagement perspective, what we've done is we've automated campaigns as a product. So every time a user launches the app for the first time, he gets an offer, he gets a welcome note from the business. If he adds products to cart and does not check out, we've automated abandoned carts. So, in our experience, we've had thousands of customers across our journey. Okay. And, we've seen businesses being extremely successful in the first month itself. Okay. Examples would include generating in upwards of even $25,000 in month one. It won't happen on the same day. I'm not saying it's not a possibility, but I don't want to set that as an expectation. Yeah, if you get things done in the first month, if you just do the basic strategies right, there's a very high probability of being successful within the first month itself.
Right. Yeah, I understand day one can be a little bit hard. Yeah. That's a very high expectation. But
yes.
Yeah, I think a 1 month strategy to be able to see some income from what you've set up via mobile strategy is definitely.
Yes. And it's a channel that grows, right? It perhaps might take a couple of months to get established, but once it's established, there's no channel beating that channel.
Right.
So, it's about the investment that you make in that.
Yeah, that is for sure. Yes. Ali, we appreciate you joining us here on the e-commerce marketing podcast. You've offered a wealth of information regarding mobile commerce that I know will be of great value to our listeners. Now, if any of our listeners out there want to get in touch with you, how do they do it?
You can directly write to me personally. I love interacting with people. It's part of, something that I try doing every week. So, people can be happy to reach out to me directly at ali@globalapps.com.
Okay, great. Well, thanks again, Ali. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, and you have a great day, and thanks for the info.
Thank you so much, Alin. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you again for inviting me. And I'll just say all the best to everyone out there in this community with regards to launching their mobile commerce strategies.
Okay, thanks again. Thank you for listening to the e-commerce marketing podcast. To access e-commerce videos and other resources to help your business grow, please visit getosi.com/videos. Subscribe to us on iTunes by searching for e-commerce marketing podcast, and please leave a rating and a review. Thanks for listening. See you next time.